The final step of making roses for me is shading. And so I'd like us to look at some actual roses that are blooming in my garden and think about where I can apply pan pastels onto these finished roses.
Often when we think about leaves, we think that they're green, but in fact, many leaves are more burgundy on rose bushes, especially young ones. And in these more mature leaves, we see less burgundy color, but that burgundy is definitely on the stems. Also, look at these older guard petals that are on this rose. The form of that petal is so interesting. See that brown stripe, and the stamens are also brown themselves. On younger roses, they're much more yellow, but they still have some brown. And here are the petals that came off that rose, and they've got a lot of pink freckles, which is very normal for older yellow roses. Here's a petal from a dog rose, and you can see how white it is. And also, let's look at the calyx. And sometimes the calyx can have echoes of the rose color. And wow, look at those leaves. They are so gorgeous and outlined. Um, these petals have a lot of yellow and white toward the center, which is again also normal for roses. And so when you use ombre paper, that's really great to give you a very naturalistic looking rose. There's more of that yellow. And these leaflets don't have much of that burgundy color, but we can see some of it on the stem. And by the way, don't throw away any rose petals you happen to come across. You can use those in tea. They make a wonderful, wonderful tea. So, as we've looked at these different examples from life, we see that there are many places to add color: the leaflets, the leaves, the stem, the petals, and the calyx. Let's give it a try. I've got my pan pastels and my brushes set up. The pan pastel brushes are the ones on the right hand side that look like makeup brushes, but I often prefer just to use a straight up paint brush. And here I am dappling the stamens with some brown to give it some of that aging. So here you see the sort of official pan pastel applicators, but let's go back to my paintbrush. And now I am dotting the area in the center of the flower with white to kind of tone down the yellow and also direct attention to it. And now I'm adding some colors to the petals. So pan pastels are a cross between oil pastels and also chalk pastels. And they come in packs. I'm going to put an affiliate link below so that you can, if you like, get the same kind of colors that I'm using here. I think I have a combination of two packs here, one of sort of natural colors. There's a magenta that I just love, and it's been useful in all sorts of flowers, a surprising number of flowers. White is also essential, and I'll be using that glittery pink later on when I decorate the calyx. So it's important to color the underside as well. And now I'm starting to decorate the calyx and the stem with more of a neutral color. Um, there are many things that you can use to add color to your paper flowers. Crayons work great, and also chalk. But the Pen Pastel company picked fantastic colors. Here again, I'm going after that stem and also the leaflets and calyx with that neutral. It's going to tone down the color of the Kozo paper that I used for the leaves. Incidentally, the Kozo paper is just great. I think I'm going to start using Kozo for all of my leaves. was really fun to dye, and I like the fact that it's so smooth. So anyway, I'll be working on that more in the future. So I am now adding some darker color to the places where the leaflets join the leaf stems. And now I'm adding some more of that brown to the sides of the petals. And what that does is it allows the petals to sort of separate for the eye a little bit. The way they look right now, it's kind of a mass of undifferentiated yellow fluff, which has its own appeal. And I really do like how it looks unpainted or undecorated. I think just the paper itself was great. But when we add the pan pastels, it allows the petals to be a little bit more separate. And these are petals are going to get that same white treatment that that first flower got, as well as some more uh, neutral tan on top of the stamens there. To keep this video from being too long, I sped this up about 2.5 times. So normally the process of applying the shading with the pan pastels looks much more careful. And even though saying that, I am probably a lot less careful than many paper florists. I just kind of slap on the shading. Um, I am not so worried about making my flowers look realistic. I just really want to study nature and focus on a few things at a time to learn rather than trying to make everything look completely natural. So here I'm using that magenta color on the green, and sometimes I find it just works magic, even though it seems like it shouldn't work. And if you look at it too carefully, it does seem a bit obvious. But if you look at it from far away, the shading makes it look like an oil painting. And that's the effect I'm going for with the pan pastels is if you look at the flower from a bit of a distance, does it look like an oil painting or a watercolor? Rather than does it look like an actual flower. So looks like I forgot to do my shaping on the leaves there. All right, here we're back to popping some color on the stamens. And now, what would be good to do with this larger rose? I think I really don't want to do too much to it. So I'm going to put some brown on the petals, but first I'm going to add some pink to the calyx. That color on the calyx is something I noticed just recently.
So are pan pastels something that you'd like to try? Please do like and subscribe and leave me some comments. Let me know. I don't always finish my flowers with pan pastels, but I do love the effect that the shading gives them. And when we have done so much work to make the paper itself express the essence of the flower, pan pastels can be an enhancement, but you might not feel like you need them. I'm pleased with this. Let me know in the comments, and if you do like and subscribe, you'll get my other paper flower videos. Have a beautiful day.